I'm going to take the next few minutes to go over incident management and how that's done in Footprint Service Core 12. Just a couple slides, though, kind of the level set. So as you guys have probably been seeing some technology trends that's impacting your organization, other organizations like yourself, the first one kind of talks about this idea of integrated device and service management. And so what that means is people are trending towards when I'm inside of a ticket, inside of my service desk ticket, I need to be able to utilize my device management tools. So that means I'm inside of my incident. I can see what asset this ticket is logged against. I need to, at this point, now be able to see what does the hardware configuration look like, what software is installed on that machine, what processes and services are running on that box. Maybe we're aware of some runaway processes. But what the trend is enabling your technicians to do those type of device configurations right from the incident ticket. So that's one of the trends. Another one you'll see listed as bullet 2 talks about the concept of that ITSM tool being on-premise, i.e. Footprint Service Core is something that you would install on-site, or having it be cloud-based, that SaaS offering. And BMC has tools as well, or service desk that you can put into the cloud. Today we're going to focus on the on-premise version, which is Footprint Service Core. Next 3 bullets, they're kind of self-explanatory. I won't bore you with reading those. I'm going to push on so that you can see what's included with Service Core. And so you'll notice several bullets there. So incident, problem, change, some of those basic ITIL processes. That's all included with Service Core. The 2 that we're going to focus on today are the incident management and the knowledge management. But understand Service Core, when I go to do my implementation, it includes all of those ITIL processes. It's just a matter of configuring them in your environment so that you can do problems, so that you can do change, so that you can do the CMDB or the configuration management database. Some of the other bullets you'll see here, Service Core is ITIL Pink verified, so it has gone through those certifications. You'll notice on the lower left here it talks about process automation, so baked into each of the modules you'll see workflows, business processes that are going to be apparent. Again, we'll look at that in the demonstration. Okay, some of the features with Footprints. We talk about it being browser-based and really browser-agnostic. So when I bring up my demonstration, I'll have 2 different browsers going, one for what my customer would use and then one that my technician is using. But point there, browser-agnostic, and it is a browser-based solution, so no fat client to install. As well, very customizable. So I'm going to enter in and enter an IT specific incident, but I also will enter one that's facilities related, and you'll see how I can customize or configure that interface so that it's different really depending upon what that request is. As well, you'll have different interfaces for your technicians versus your end users, and even if you decide for the mobile component, then you can have an interface for your mobile devices that you would configure. So again, fairly customizable there. It is ITIL compatible. We saw on the previous screen the P3 verification, the processes that were listed, so incident, service request, change management, problem management, all ITIL processes, again, baked into Service Core. Okay, and then at the bottom there, you'll notice the business process automation. So again, seeing what those workflows are, we'll walk through a few of those, and then the workspaces. So this is a concept where it doesn't have to be just IT-related data or incidents that you want to capture. With Service Core, it can branch out. It can be IT-related. It can be facilities-related, maybe HR-related. Really, whatever process that is that you want to track, you can utilize Service Core to do that. We've had many different people use it kind of different ways, but the ones I'll show today have to do with incidents and facilities. Okay, with that, let me go ahead and share out my screen. I'll just minimize that presentation. And I'm going to come into the customer portal. So with Service Core, there is a self-service portal that you can provide to your end users. It's going to be a way for them to interact with the service desk. Other ways that you can enter tickets, if you want to still do email, they're going to be able to send an email. Footprint Service Corps is able to receive that email and turn it into an incident and route it accordingly. And then, of course, probably the most way that you probably want to get away from the most is them calling you or tapping you on your shoulder. But again, I'll show that from the technician view, how you can create a ticket for that end user who may be calling in. Okay, so if we look at this from, again, the end-user perspective, this console, I've opted to show just a few things, again, completely configurable. You may decide that you don't want to show them this service request browser. That's something that you haven't configured up yet. You would just make it not viewable. Same with this knowledge base browser. If you haven't populated the knowledge base, we're going to get into this in the second demo, maybe that's something that you don't show them as well. This screen that we're seeing here are all my incidents. So I can go in after the fact. I've entered them. I need to see what has progressed with a given incident. Here is the history, if you will, of all the incidents I've created that are still open that I want to go in and see where the technicians are with resolving these issues. But let's go through a new incident. So you'll see up here in the upper left, I've got really the three buttons that I've enabled for my end users. So the incident here that they're doing has to relate to IT. Now you'll notice a couple of things. I'm really showing them three tabs here on the left, and they're only required to enter information for this first tab. And I know that because of this asterisk. So really all they need to do is give me a short description. One of the nice features that you can employ is the concept of templates. So you'll notice here I've given them three templates that they could choose from, and you can populate this with whatever templates that you like, but what it's doing is filling in that key information that the technicians are going to need to help them resolve this ticket. So maybe I say I'm having a printer issue. So what it's doing there, you'll notice it's giving it the short description, and it's also giving this full description. Maybe I go a step further and say a specific HP printer that is giving me the issues. Okay? And so what I'm going to do is save this. Now, the contact information, that's might come into the console as a particular user, as seen up here in the upper right. So what it's going to do is populate that information from the address book into this ticket. Now, if I wanted to provide alternate contact methods, they've given me the option to fill that in. But again, that's configurable. You may opt not to show that at all. So here I'm just going to go ahead and save this. And again, what it's doing is creating this ticket, it's routing it to the appropriate groups. I can see it's nested itself right here at the top. It's 1040, or I'm sorry, we'll just say 42. So incident 42 was created. I've got my times, etc. Now, if we contrast this, you remember we had the three fields there on the left, and we had the three templates that were presented to me. When I do a facilities request, you're going to notice this one looks a little different. So I've only got the two categories here on the left to fill in. The description still required, but now I'm providing them other things like the facilities type. And you'll notice when I pull the templates, now they're only getting templates that relate to facilities issues. So here if we go ahead and say, I may say, well, my office is cold. So there it's given the short description. You'll notice here that the facilities type changed to thermostat. Okay, and those are some of my other options that I could put. So I'm saying, again, my office is too cold, and I'm just going to go ahead and save and close that. So this was going to route to facilities so they can come and do whatever manipulations they need to make me a comfortable end user. Okay, so there at the top we've got the two tickets that we've just entered. Again, just a real quick way for them to enter the tickets. This portal is included. You would just decide which incidents, which templates you want to exposed to them, and once you've done that, here's how they can come in and see it. Now, what you'll notice as well, coming up on the lower right-hand side of the screen are the notifications. So what you can as well set up as part of those business processes is how do you want to notify the end user when they've entered a ticket. So here we're opting to notify them. It could be that we notify whoever that got assigned to, or we're notifying the queue that got dropped in. But again, many notifications that you can set up as a part of kind of that back-end process. Okay, I'll just take my cursor off of that. I mentioned another way we could do it with sending the email. So here I've got it where we're going to send a quick email, and I'll say that I need a new chair. And that's all I'm going to say, and we'll just send it. So what that's going to do, again, if you configure it, you're going to allow the emails to come in and create that incident. This, too, is going to create an incident for me. So what I'm going to do at this point is switch over to the technician perspective and just bring up, again, a different browser. So now I'm in as my admin account, and I'm looking at my workspaces. And so that workspace, from an administrative perspective, there are many items that can land in my workspace, incidents, facility requests. Those are two of several. I will look in administration in just a second, and you'll kind of see what else is included in that ITSM workspace. But here we'll just do a quick refresh, and then what we'll see, the incidents that my end user entered. So the one with the printer, the office being cold, and that chair was actually from the email, got created and logged into my ITSM queue. But let's say that someone's calling in and I need to do the incident for them on the fly. So here under my actions, and again, now you'll see this is much more verbose or exhaustive, again, because my technicians are going to have a different view than what my end users have. But we'll go and let's do the facilities request. And again, you'll notice additional fields over here on the left, again, because I'm exposing different things to my technician, and they still have those same templates. So the user that's calling in, maybe this is James. What this is doing is now looking in the address book. I only have one person called James. If I had multiples, then I could pick or put in some additional credentials here. But because I only have the one, I'm just going to do a quick link. And it's linking James. It's got his email. I've got the phone number. And I'm going to go ahead and use one of these templates. We'll say change the lights. So where that's plugging in, here on the details, I see I've got my short description, I've got my facilities type of electrical, and I've got what the electrical issue is. I can see as well things that I wasn't exposing to the end user, what the status is, that priority is medium, if I've assigned it to anyone. That's what we start to populate as a part of that template. Here we'll go ahead and save it. Okay, very quickly done. The facilities request, we'll get the notification. And if we just contrast this, we'll go ahead and close this out so we get some of the real estate back. For the incident, and you'll remember when we looked at the incident from my end user perspective, I had the 3 templates. When I'm looking at it from my technician perspective, you'll notice there are 4. So this network password reset. The point here is you can decide which templates you want to expose to your end users versus the ones that you want to expose to the technician, so it can be completely different or it can be identical. That facilities was identical. So here we'll just do a network password reset. We'll say this is Stacy. Do a quick link. We've got that created. We'll hit the details. We can see what's being plugged in. If we hit the assignees, I can see as well that is routing to my desktop support team. So that's all that's needed there. We'll go ahead and save it.